John was working in his science lab, got blasted by gamma rays. Now he's Smash Trivia John, always smashing. He's friends with Ruffalo, in love with Aslan, and also some arrow weaving. John's here saying, hello my gamma friends, welcome to the show, the Gamma Analysis Podcast.
And hold. Smash.
Hello, my gamma friends. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia. I'll be the one with the big old green head in the profile picture. This is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, I'm going to review everything Hulk, all the movies, TV shows, and I also do random other geeky films, and also some geeky TV shows as well. Hope you enjoy. Smash Trivia presents the Gamma Analysis. So, everyone listening, please do time for me. Please share the hell out of this podcast with all your friends. If you don't, Hulk will be angry. Now let's smash right into this episode. Today's episode is a review of Spider-Noir with my friend Brayden. How you doing, Brayden?
I'm doing okay. I'm really excited to talk about the show. I really am.
Oh yeah, this was a really fun show. Oh yeah, and I was very happy with how it turned out. I do wish they released weekly so that we could have so that we could get it more and more excited about it as people talk about it each week. But still, I really liked what we got, and I'm very hopeful that it gets season 2 in the future.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I just think they're going to get season 2 because I know obviously it's a Spider-Man show. This got good marketing. I think people are definitely binge watching it. They're like, oh shit, 8 episodes all together. We talked about this earlier today. Actually, we're like, oh. We did not expect it to be all at once. I guess even when I was watching the trailers, even when I was looking up for the show, for life of me, I can't remember them saying it would be coming out all at once. Mm-hmm. But it does make sense why they kept really hammering home the release date and why they dropped it the way they did. And this really is a fun show. It's a good reimagining of the character. It fits in with what you know about the movie version of Noir. And the changes they took from the comics make sense. Even some legal stuff. Obviously in the show he's called Ben Reilly, while in the Noir universe he's usually called Peter Parker. But what's funny is they do reference the name change.
Yeah, they do.
When they're like, oh yeah, I would have found you sooner, but you changed your name. So I'm like, oh. So legally, while they're like, oh no, Peter Parker can only be in the MCU, live action. They were like...
the rights things are so weird. Weird. We've talked about it before, but it's funny to me. So they can't have can't use the name Peter Parker. They can't have Kingpin in at least the movies. I don't know about about Kingpin's rights TV wise if there would be a possibility in TV, but.
I think Vincent D'Onofrio said Marvel TV owns me outright. Mm-hmm. Sony can't use me without their permission in TV shows. But in movies, the MCU can't use... They can only use... He basically said, I can only really be in a Daredevil movie legally. And then I can't be in a Spider-Man movie unless Sony casts me with another actor, which is fucking insane. It's just weird.
It's so funny to me. So we get these rights issues, but somehow this show is allowed to say super soldier and mutations.
I guess, well, that's the thing. I remember there was a period of time when, back when 20th Century Fox was still Fox, and Wanda and Pietro being a divvy up between the MCU and Fox. Fox told Marvel, you cannot say the word mutant in the MCU or we will sue you. We own the Marvel trademark for mutant, so you can't say that. Mm-hmm. I guess now, because seemingly from the way the show was developed, Marvel and Sony were both involved. There's a lot of 50-50. There's a lot of, seemingly they're on the same page with certain things. I'm not going to lie. If there's a season 2, I wouldn't be shocked because Amazon's kind of a third party. I wouldn't be shocked if some non-Spider-Man Marvel characters show up
Yeah,
in this universe. I can actually see that happening
like
in a couple seasons.
they would have they obviously would have to deal with like the rights issues
Yeah,
surrounding it, but it would be so much fun to get a noir version of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin in a season two.
yeah,
I think
and you,
he would fit. He would be so much fun to see in this universe.
yeah, and you know what's funny? I think because this is a great blending of different genres. Like this really is a great noir detective mystery show, and it's also a great Spider-Man show with comic book elements with supervillains.
Oh yeah.
And I really love this cast because you can tell everyone is having a blast, and everyone is treating it differently. Like Brendan Gleeson, he's a great actor, and obviously he's great in something. He's great as Silvermane in this. And one thing I like the fact because in real life he's Irish. I really like the fact that they made the character Silvermane an actual Irish immigrant. Where I'm like, that's a great detail. That makes sense. It also even makes sense timeline wise of when this is in 1930s New York. Where I'm like, yeah, that would be very recent. I'm like, that makes sense. And Silvermane, he's such I guess you could say he's like an overlooked Spider-Man villain. He's not that popular. He's such a mobster, like stereotype in most recent modern day Spider-Man comics. He doesn't really have that much to do. In this show, because of Gleason and because of the writing, they made him smart, kind of funny, and he wasn't predictable. Like I felt like we understood where he was coming from. Like one of my favorite scenes in the show is when Noir gets into the car with him and they just talking and he
Mm-hmm.
asks him calmly, so who hired you to kill me? And Noir's like, I'm not here to kill you. And it's like, oh, okay, never mind. It's like it's like it's actually a great moment because
Oh
between
yeah.
him and Nick Cage. It's like,
The acting was so good in this. It's from everybody. Oh, and especially with both of Bryan Gleason and Nicolas Cage, but also like the supporting actors like Lamar Oren Morris
oh
is
yeah.
Lee Lee and Karen Rodriguez. They're so good.
Yeah. They're not only are they great, like the writing of the show is really good, but not only do they treat the supporting characters very well, there are moments where when an episode focuses on them or like a scene focuses on them, you're like, fuck, I really like this character. I really like Cat Hardy. I really liked what they did with Robbie.
yeah.
Lamar Morris, he's a very obviously everyone knows it from New Girl,
Mhm.
great at comedy, and obviously you can tell he's great at drama. What I love about his portrayal of Robbie, he feels so sincere and he
Mhm.
feels so real. He's treating Ben Riley with a lot of love and respect as a friend. And he's like, come on, man, we need you to be a superhero right now. I understand what you've been
Yeah.
through, but like I'm telling you, your break, you being retired is not helping the city. You gotta
Oh yeah.
focus on the world right now. And what's funny is even though there's an age difference between him and Nicolas Cage, I believe they're friends. I believe they've known each
Yeah.
other for years.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel it.
Definitely. With Robbie, sign that I really liked with this character, and this is sign that I is one of the reasons that it saddens me that a lot of people only watch the black and white version is his sense of style because his outfits are so colorful and so much fun to see. And I imagine I haven't actually seen the black and white version, but I would imagine it being black and white, you don't really get any of that.
Well, it's funny. I've watched both versions of different episodes, and I just to compare some stuff,
Mhm.
and um, the set design of the show is really beautiful, and I
Oh
think in
yeah.
either version. But I think the moment where I'm like, okay, the color version might have um, a slight edge. When Cat Hardy is singing at the club, and we
Mhm.
see the club. It's a beautiful club.
Oh
And I
yeah.
watched it in black and white. And then I was like, let me go back and watch the scene, the color. And I went, wow, this looks beautiful. Like it still looks beautiful in
Oh
color. But I'm like,
yeah.
whoa. Like I like this
The
show. The show's getting a lot of positive reviews, it's getting a lot of attention. I can see a lot of the technical aspects of the show getting nominated for Golden Globes or Emmys,
Definitely.
I think. And when it comes to acting, definitely a lot of like Brendan Gleeson, Um, like I think he should get something because you know, like he's on the same level
Mhm.
to me as Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Where I'm like, this is so. It's when it comes to supervillain roles in film and TV. Obviously, there's a certain fun, dramatic edge. There's a lot of things you could do with it, but I've never. He treated everything straight while having fun.
Yeah.
He wasn't overly serious, right? He knew exactly how to
Hmm.
play off of everyone, and yet it was yeah, it felt like he understood the genre of the world he was in. Like it was so great, and I genuinely there's a lot of great acting in this, and a lot of clever use of
Oh
everyone.
yeah. Something that I really appreciate with the show is it has such a classic feel. I feel and like a lot of the comic book movies that we would get in the early 2000s and before that. And I think that's really cool because I don't always get that classic feel with a lot of the modern and superhero movies. But the stuff from the early 2000s and earlier, I usually get that feel, and I got that feel in this, which was really fun. And also just like this really feels like a comic book come to life. It is it is that perfect mix of tone where it there is seriousness, but there is like a bit of an undertone that is just goofy.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's and that's like such a great sweet spot to me. Like I love that feel, the feel like and like the what is serious in it almost feels like this over the top version of serious,
yes, yes,
and
and
that's
yet
and that I love when stuff has that, and I feel like it's rare for things to actually have that over the top version of serious. And I love that feel so much.
no, 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 I completely agree. Like even like now obviously a big trope in black and white fiction, and obviously in and even the superhero stuff is when like lightning strikes over dramatically and such. Now, obviously, in old school noir, it was genuine. It wasn't meant to be over the top, but over the years, it's such a funny visual
Mhm.
gag of black and white
Oh
lightning
yeah.
over dramatic. But in the show, not only is it played straight, it's also played for laughs when like there's a lightning bolt and all of a sudden someone disappears. I'm like that's good. That's a
Yeah, with with like the color version of the show. Some particular things I would like to I bring up because I thought they were really cool. One, how colorful all the buildings are. That was so cool. And then like whenever you had nighttime scenes, and the lighting and color grading really makes it look so cool.
Yeah, and it looks beautiful in both. Like the cinematography of the show definitely should get nominated because I'm like it
Mhm.
looks beautiful both ways. And you know what's funny? I the costuming, the wardrobe. I hope that gets a special shout out.
Oh
And
yeah.
Lee Jun Lee as Kat Hardy. She's great. And you know what's funny? Even though she's not like they had to rename her. Like they're like, oh no, it's not Felicia Hardy. But I'm like, man, she's great. Like she's actually like this might be like because it's funny, the only time we had a Felicia Hardy in live action was when they made Spider-Man 2 with Felicity Jones. And I'm like, I know we're gonna get Black Cat in a couple of years, probably with Tom Holland or some other Spider-Man thing. With Cat in this show, not only is she a great tribute to the femme fatale trope in black and white noir, she still feels like a real character. And like even
Mhm.
like I don't want to spoil too much about what happens between her, Ben, and her relationship with Flip Marko, who I thought was great, played
Mhm.
by Jack Houston. There's a lot of like great moments where like I don't know I don't know what she's gonna do. Like she's very
Mhm.
unpredictable, and I like
And
that. I like the writing of that.
and a a big thing that's is great is like this could have so easily fallen into the damsel in distress trope, but I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
they did a good job not doing that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I completely agree. Like it's interesting. It's like with the way you know, not only does this pay tribute to a lot of obviously with Spider-Man Noir and other Spider-Man stuff and a lot of like Marvel Easter eggs here and there, but there are many times where it really reminded me of other superheroes from the black and white era, like the Shadow, and Dick Tracy, and like all these other different like New York 1930s
Mhm.
based superhero stuff, and one of the things that's made those stand apart from, say, Superman is that they didn't always have to deal with damsel in distress stories. Like their love interest wasn't always tied up. They were
Hmm.
always off to the side, being like part of the mystery,
Yeah.
investigating. And with Kat, she it's interesting. There are many times where it feels like it's a little bit like her show, especially with
Hmm.
her beef with Silvermane, and she's trying like most great detective noir stories. She's dealing with her own issues, and these men come across it, which I really like.
Hmm.
It really does feel like a classic detective mystery noir. And Jack Houston as Flint Marco, as the Sandman in this,
Yeah.
it's great for so many different reasons. One of the first things I saw him in as an actor was the HBO show Boardwalk Empire, which is a mafia crime show in the
Oh.
1930s, 40s New York, around there. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it is funny because when he shows up to talk to Nicolas Cage in his suit, I was getting like Boardwalk Empire flashbacks. I'm like, hey, he's wearing the same suit.
That's good. Oh, now one thing that that is a little bit of a criticism I have with the show,
Uh-huh.
and it involves Flint Marco's character as well as the other super or powered characters in the show, which is that so as the show goes on, we get this reveal that Nicolas Cage's character with Ben Riley, well, at the time, yeah, I think he was Peter Parker, but he was a part of their platoon in the military,
Mhm.
area, and he's who saved them from these experiments that were being done on them. Um, it's weird to me that if they were are in the same platoon together, they knew each other in the military. That it took till the finale for one of them to recognize as Ben. It and not and it wasn't like an immediate thing of like like the first time he fights it's with Marco. Either one of them being like, "Hey, wait, I know you. You're my
Yeah,
friend from the army."
no. That's the thing. It's one of those things where, like, again, either A, they should have had someone else play young Ben in the past, like try to visually make him look more different, or they should have had. Okay, the only thing I can think of other than maybe PTSD is maybe they're both just not sober, and it's been so
The thing
long.
is, the thing is, are they saying that every one of these soldiers is either having PTSD or is a drunk? Like no, I feel like someone before the finale should have recognized him, and they should have gone more into their connection between them. I mean,
Yeah, I think.
emotional connection between them, and versus there's no emotional connection between Ben and them.
Well, that's the thing, because when they did the Ben Riley name change, I'm shocked they didn't do the whole, like, okay, because obviously in the comics, Ben Riley's a clone of Peter Parker.
Mhm.
You could have done the recognition thing, but you could have had Ben lie and be like, "Oh, no, I'm Peter Parker's brother. I'm not. I didn't serve in World War." Like, I mean, like that's something to help dispel the mystery. Because there are moments where the way Jack Hughes and Nicolas Cage are playing it, and some of the others, there are moments where like they have this like a little bit of a hint that maybe they recognize each other, but it's not focused on, and it comes a little too late. Like there are moments where like I'm not gonna lie, there was a moment where I thought one of them was gonna say, "Oh yeah, I've always known who you were," something like that. You know what I mean? Like something like that.
Like it's so weird to me. Like we get an emotional connection between Robbie and Lonnie, even though
Yeah.
they don't know each other. Other, but we don't get any emotional connection between in Ben and any of them.
Again, I think it is interesting because it does feel like I feel like they didn't want to give into a certain like cliche because obviously them being connected is cool. That's so a cool idea. It's very comic booky. It feels very important to the story. But they really, I guess, they couldn't justify why they wouldn't just meet up or be friends, and they didn't want to pull a Wolverine thing, like like an X-Men versus Wolverine. Logan, like in most things, his platoon and his fellow superpower platoon people all fucking knew each other. Were all kind of friends. I guess they didn't want to do that either. They wanted to try to explain why there was a bit of a split, but it is kind of fun because it does feel like there's a chance there was a missed potential of like,
Mhm.
oh, it would have been cool if you guys did
Yeah.
flashbacks of them doing some shit together
Like,
before
yeah,
having a falling out.
it just feels weird that they don't feel any kind of connection. There's never like a moment of being like of Ben trying to reason with them, being like, "Hey, we know each other. We're friends,
Yeah,
and we were part of the same platoon. We fought in the war together. And also like I kind of get why they did this because of Nicolas Cage's age, but it's weird how it kind of feels like they're trying to be very mysterious about how much time it's been since he was in the war.
well, that's the thing because like I know it's in the 1930s and World War II hasn't happened yet, and obviously there's some other stuff, but there are many times where it does go for a timeless feel. But I'm like, but wait a minute, this is before we can do the math in our heads. We know what this is. You don't have to be vague about certain things. The way I took it, because he's like hiding from his past and he's hiding from various different aspects. I
Mhm.
felt like they wanted to try emulate that in the storytelling. It is
Wait,
still kind of funny though. Like I don't think it's
so
bad or anything. It's just interesting. I'm like, huh?
yeah, so the only things we can assume in regards to how much time it's been is that so it's in the 1930s and it's World War One started in the 1910s and we get this character who is in his 30s and he says that when he joined up they thought he was 15, so it's something less than 15 years, but it's also and it has to also be more than 4 years because it's been 4 years since the Spider-Noir the spider disappeared from the saving people.
Yeah, it is. There is some like fun little comic book shortcuts because there are moments where I'm like, okay, this is my okay. I say as someone who loves superhero stuff and I'm a huge comic book fan.
Mhm.
One of my biggest issues with certain stories is the superhero retired.
Mhm.
I'm a supervillain. Let me move in to the same city and take it over. Surely they're not going to come back. And I'm like, oh, if they come back. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no, you don't. I'm sorry. In my personal opinion, if I was a supervillain, and I will mark the cities that have superheroes and be like, I am not going there no matter the circumstance.
I feel like though with Silverman it does kind of make sense because he's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
because like what he said is the reason why he's doing this is basically he wants a challenge. He
Yeah.
wants he the whole reason is to fight, and if it's too easy because there's no superhero there, then what's the point?
Yeah, true. And I did get that. Like he does explain himself, and like I do like that. But the only thing that kept throwing me off is that like I guess because like it is funny how people just assumed, I guess, that he was dead, Noir. Even though I'm like, well, sometimes when it just makes I'm such I know the tropes. I'm like, no, if a superhero retires from something and there's no body, they're probably still living in the city. Like, oh, like so you gotta be prepared for that. But I did like how Ben threw them all off for a while because they were kind of like, oh, I don't know how to handle him because it's a man who crawls up the walls and swings on the way. Like how do I like?
Yeah.
None of them can fly. None of them,
Uh,
like, it's really great.
yeah. Real quick, like, arguing back to my main criticism of the show being
Mhm.
of it not going into this emotional connection between them. Heck, outside of fight scenes, Ben barely interacts with them. And so like my criticism very mainly it goes down to communication and that reminds me of like one of my main criticisms of the Moon Knight show,
Mhm.
is how they did the situation with Jake Lockley,
Mhm.
where like so they find that there's this third altar, or they keep having moments where they're like, "Did you do that? Did you do that?" Neither of us did that, but then they have no further conversation about it. They just wait for it to happen again, and then ask each other if each other did it, ignoring that it's happening. And it's like we need to have some longer conversation about this. If someone is killing all these people, you two should be more worried about that. So like that's I think that's a big thing where I'm like communication is something that I think sometimes superhero projects they have trouble with, and that's kind of a bit of a problem. Sometimes to me when they're like they're signing so obvious and they're just acting like it's signing this in the background.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you mean. There's a lot of like hand wavy stuff in this. I mean, like it works in the sense of like, okay, it's a detective noir show. Ben is busy. He's kind of like tunnel focused on certain things. So of course he might
Please,
miss some things. But
I don't even know if Ben actually realizes even immediately that he knew them, and or if he did, then he's just keeping it to himself for a while that he knew them. And like he doesn't bring up when they pull up the picture of the people from the platoon being like, oh yeah, I was a part of that army platoon.
yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. It's one of those things where like it's kind of interesting because like Nicolas Cage, I think he knows the shift between him in the mask and him outside the mask, but they're both masking all the time. Like he's still not being verbally honest with most
Mhm.
people, I think. And there's a lot of times where he's just very distant and distracted. But
Mhm.
I get what you mean. Like I do think a season two is gonna happen.
Yeah.
I want to see his character development in season two because seemingly there's a lot of implication that this is the same version as the one into Spider-Verse. And I'm
Mhm.
like, well, Spider-Verse is after this. It's after the show.
Is
Like
it? Because
because
at the
only
beginning of the
because
show they mentioned all other universes in the
well
opening narration.
the only thing that okay is because of in Into the Spider-Verse he says, and I punched Nazis. And we see him a flash cut of him punching Nazis. Seemingly in the show, he hasn't met a Nazi. So I'm like, huh. And he's not as happy and
Uh,
as joyful as he is into the Spider-Verse. So I'm
that
like,
makes sense.
is this but I do think there is some foreshadowing. I'm also not gonna lie. I wouldn't be shocked because people aren't people weren't happy with the movie. I can see Madam Web being a character in this show, be basically
Hmm.
trying to tell him, "Oh, Ben Riley, you need to see your future or whatever," and
I
it
can
would
see
kind
that.
of fit with the because say the way they handle the powers in the show is very impressive. Like it's big, it's showy, it fits with the characters, and it doesn't overwhelm the noir setting.
Hmm.
And there's like a lot of crazy concepts in the Spire Noir books, and I'm like, I would like okay the Doctor Octopus he's in the Spire Noir comics, and I'm like, I wouldn't mind seeing him next season. You know what I mean?
That'd be
Actually,
fun.
like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
I think there's a connection. Like if this isn't, it's clearly obvious he is probably the same version. Or if
Mhm.
this is after Into the Spider Verse, then his romance with Ruby and everything else happened like somehow somehow happened right after he went back.
um, I think I've seen some fans be worried about whether the show will get a season two or not, because of the fact that they released it all at once. Which I
I
understand that worry, but also I think it's important to point out that the most popular at least superhero show. I think it's also the most popular show in general on Amazon Prime, The Boys. Its first season was all dropped at once.
yeah. So and also like in regards to releasing weekly or all at once, I'm like no. It to me, I think it depends on this is a cliffhanger or like this is a big thing we think people will talk about. But with Noir, I think the pacing is mostly good. Like there's some episodes I
Mhm.
felt were dragged a little bit, but I'm like, no, I'm kind of glad this did drop all at once, not because of like, oh, people have gotten bored or anything. No, I think there's just some people, like a lot of Spider-Man fans, especially a lot of like, I know a lot of families who watch this show.
Mhm.
Because oh my god, it's Spider-Man show. Hey, Spider-Man Noir, like from the Spider-Verse, Nicolas Cage, yada yada. There was a lot of. It's funny, like a lot of families tune in to watch this. I think kids would have fell off after a few weeks. You know what I mean? I
So
don't see it as a lack of faith because it's obvious from the marketing, from the good reviews, and from the production they put in this. I don't think there was a lack of faith. I think a season two will happen. I think the only concern is when the actors will be available because it's obvious because
yeah,
this film pretty well came out quick.
I think
I think a season two will probably take two to 3 years to come out
I
unless
think
they
the
cut that
biggest
down.
I think the biggest issue um and this is just like my issue for Wonder Man season 2, which is one of the main actors in Wonder Man, and then the main actor in this, they're very old, and you can only wait so much time to make more.
Yeah, I I think they're. I mean, because it's obvious Nicolas Cage is having a lot of fun. He's very enthusiastic on the
Yeah.
press, and I think he even admitted that the showrunner had to convince him because Nicolas Cage he's been offered to do TV shows along like
Mm-hmm.
various roles. I remember one time HBO wanted him to play the character Stannis Baratheon in Game of Thrones. He was interested, but he turned it down for different reasons. I think because he was like, I got there's some movies I got to do. I can't do a show. He was offered to play Mr. Wednesday in the show American Gods. He turned it down for similar reasons. With this, they had the showrunner has. I had to really convince him. I had to tell him the plot, and I think Nicolas Cage's son showed him the guy's writing, like the other stuff the guy
So
worked on,
he said
and
that he got convinced to do a TV show because of his son showing him Breaking Bad during the pandemic,
yeah,
which was
yeah,
cool. It was just cool.
yeah. It
Oh,
seemed because if we see again, Nicolas Cage, he's very old school. Like he remember there was a time he came from that generation where TV shows weren't really taken seriously as like known for having great acting until
mm-hmm.
maybe the late 90s, early 2000s, right? That was when the change started. And then, of course, late 2000s, 2010s with stuff like Breaking Bad. So I think Nicolas Cage, because he's so busy making movies, he missed a big chunk of TV
Mm-hmm.
pop culture. Saw things change. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, TV shows let actors
I,
do a lot now, and this show can do this because he loves his
I
character.
think I think as well. And this goes along with loving the character, or her, it being this particular character is a big part of what convinced him to do it. He loves this character, but also I feel like there's probably a level of him being like I so oh Into the Spider-Verse that came out in 2018.
Mhm.
At that time, I'm Nicolas Cage was still in his era where he wasn't getting a lot of big roles
Mhm.
for 10 years. He had not had his resurgence yet. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if part of what made him want to do this was he was so grateful to Phil Lord and Chris Miller for being willing to put him in their film.
oh yeah, and also like Nicolas Cage is a huge comic book geek.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like his last name, his acting stage name of
Mm-hmm.
Cage comes from his love of Luke Cage, and he wanted to play Superman, and he kind of did in Teen Titans Go, and even in had a weird cameo in the Flash movie, and
Mm-hmm.
it is kind of funny that like he's been two Marvel characters. He's been a Ghost
Yeah.
Rider and he's been a Spider-Man more than once, and it is a lot of fun. And I'm not gonna lie, in regards to cameos he might have in Avengers Secret Wars, I wouldn't be shocked if he just shows up wearing this costume, just
Mm-hmm.
chilling. 'Cause I'm like, you guys made it. Also,
I
one thing
mean,
I do think,
I wouldn't be surprised if he would have been able to film that when they were filming Doomsday because
yeah,
I'm pretty sure this show was filming around the same time.
Oh yeah, it was, and I can definitely see that. And also, one of the things I love about um, Cage's performance as Noir is not only is he treating like the script so well, and he's flowing with the story. I like the fact that he knows it's like, okay, I have to be different from my animated portrayal because I have to try and move a different way.
Mhm.
I have to try and move some. I have to have some of the same energy. Like I think when Noir is being funny, like being being like very Nick Cagey, he's clearly having a blast, and
Oh
it fits.
yeah.
Like it really
Yeah,
does fit. Like it doesn't push the line or anything.
mhm. I remember in interviews he said sign like this character to him is like 90% and Bugs Bunny, 10% and percent a noir superhero,
Yeah, and
which I love that of that idea.
I think
Though
he,
I would say he's probably not 90% in Bugs Bunny. He's definitely not that crazy.
yeah. I know what you mean. And I remember at one point, I think a recent quote he said, I might be misremembering. I swear he said, "Some scenes I treat it like it's a spider pretending to be a man." And I'm like, that's actually really funny. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Which he literally says in the show that he had to learn how to become a man again by watching movies.
Yeah. And I did like the man spider scene in the show. I thought it was
Yeah.
really great. And seemingly, there's a lot of rumors that in Spider-Man Brand New Day, Tom Holland's Peter Parker might have a man spider transformation. And that Bruce Banner and the Hulk and someone else will have to try to calm him down, which I can see happening. It I'm kind of glad Man Spider was in this. Because Man Spider was only in the 90s cartoon and the comics and this show, Spider-Man Noir. So maybe when that movie comes around, families will be freaking the fuck out when they see Tom Holland turn into that. if they still do Man Spider in that movie.
Oh, one thing I think is really cool. So, Lonnie Lincoln and is played by this actor named Abraham Papalula.
Hmm.
I'm probably mispronouncing that last name, but he was also one of the a sword members or not sword maybe sword or the one of the members of Nick Fury's space station in the Marvels.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't catch that. I was like,
Yeah,
I swear he looks familiar. I didn't check on his filmography. That
yeah.
is cool.
He has a much bigger head of hair in that, so that's probably why you don't recognize it. But yeah, he was one of the people who works on that space station. So that was a cool little connection there. I also think I think it's fun that so this is now with Thorne Aaron Morris. This is now the second I can main cast member from New Girl that Nicolas Cage has appeared in a Spider-Man project with. Since
Oh yeah, that's
Jake
right.
Johnson
Yeah,
was Peter B. Parker.
yeah. And I'm also kind of glad Lamar Morris got to do this.
Mhm.
Can you speaking of this is his second comic book project because Lamar Morris, his first comic book project, he was in the Vin Diesel comic book movie Bloodshot as
Okay.
like a tech guy, a British tech guy, and it's just really kind of funny. Kind of, and Lamar Morris, he's really great in
Oh
this,
yeah.
and I hope he gets to do more comic book based stuff in the future, or even
Mhm.
like video game stuff. Like he gets to show a lot in this, and
Oh
I
yeah.
hope.
I hope sometime he gets to be the actual superhero.
Oh yeah, I don't know if someone told me they were like doing a remake of like Meteor Man with Lamar Morris or something. I'll be down for that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's some characters he could definitely
Mhm.
play in Marvel, DC, Image, anything. I'm like and also like in this, he's so awesome, and I hope people in Hollywood and the industry give him more dramatic roles because he's great in
Mhm.
comedy. He's awesome in comedy. I think there was a moment where he was in some movies where his character was a little too similar to the character from New Girl. That's not on him, but that's just on Hollywood
Mhm.
typecasting. So I'm like, give him more dramatic stuff to do. I would love to see him do
Okay.
more science fiction stuff because like also this is not a major spoiler or anything, but like when he has to do like the classic. Oh, my best friend's a superhero, but they can't be here right now. I got to put on his costume and do an imitation of him. I thought he was really funny in
Oh
that. He was
yeah,
actually
that's
having a great
great.
time.
He was so good. Yeah, another character who I think was I really enjoyed. Even though he was playing this obscure character, is Andrew Lewis Aldwell as Dirk Layden in which is this minor character that people thought was Electro.
Yeah, it's funny because like throughout the entire like I know his villain name for, like, in the books is like Megawatt, very
Yeah.
small character,
Yeah, I
and
think he actually called himself Megawatt for
yeah,
one moment in the finale.
yeah, and it's still funny because like okay, one of the reasons why I watched it in color was when someone told me I'm shocked they didn't just make him Electro because he has yellow lightning, and I'm like what? And then I went back and then watched it in color. I went, oh yeah, he does. I'm like then he's fucking like he doesn't even like they kind of reference Molten Man in a way the fiery Spider-Man villain Molten Man and Megawatt is really fun in the show and like and the actor what's his name again Andrew uh he's been in so many different things I watched growing up and I'm like oh yeah he's really good in this and I hope he gets more to do in like an
Oh
action
yeah.
community type way.
Yeah. Oh, well, we've already talked about. I would like a season two. I also wouldn't be against and a Spider-Noir getting a movie. Yeah, I think it would be really fun to see him continue with in movie format as well.
No, I completely agree. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I know Sony said they're gonna continue doing more Spider-Man villain spin-off movies. Like say, even with Morbius, Madam Web, and Craven not doing well, they want a soft reboot and keep making non-Spider-Man related movies. And I think to myself, okay, you need a Spider-Man. You clearly you need to learn your lesson. You gotta have Spider-Man be a center of these villain films.
Mhm.
If it can't be Peter because of MCU, it can't be Miles yet because you're saving Miles for live action Peter in the MCU. Okay, this is what you do. You bring in a Ben Riley of some kind, or you just make everything the noir verse,
Mhm.
like you go from the leap from TV to film, and because when I'm watching this, I'm like this I'm not gonna lie, it would have been funny to see like Venom Noir, like Venom, like this
Oh,
Spider-Man
for
Noir
sure.
fight Venom. I'm like, actually, you know what? That would have been just like you picture
Oh
it to
yeah.
like War of the Worlds or something, like with Venom.
Mhm.
But like you can because of the style choices and because of how they got this done, I'm like, yeah, this could be the key to creating a Spider-Man film universe separate from the MCU. No one will be confused. Live action, you know what I mean? They can absolutely do a movie from this show.
Oh yeah, definitely. Something I would really like to see. I know probably never happen, but I think it would be really fun to see. Is say like in Secret Wars or something. If we have like a glimpse of this universe, I want to see Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider or go into this universe.
That would be
I
cool.
think that would be fun to see. Not only the interaction would go of Spider Noir meeting in Ghost Rider, who looks like him, but also just the idea of seeing Ghost Rider in a noir universe. I feel like would be really cool to see.
Oh yeah, I agree. Or even like you can do like some cool stylistic stuff where like we see Ghost Rider in color, but then we enter Noir universe
Yeah,
becomes
like
black and white. Like
no,
and it's like,
I actually like the idea of like making that Ghost Rider is the only thing in color,
oh
or
yeah,
and it being like his flames are particularly the only thing in color.
oh yeah, that would be a cool visual.
I think
And
that
we,
would be a cool visual. Yeah.
oh yeah, for sure. And with season two, I think it's gonna happen. Obviously there has to be like a lot of contract negotiations for
Mhm.
like everyone has to sign off type thing, yada yada. I am curious because it's obvious season one is such a detective mystery crime drama. Now with the second season, I think they can go into more crazy, like do another mystery, but do more crazy science fiction
Hmm.
elements from the Spider-Man universe. Where like, maybe he finds out about Doctor Octopus experimenting on people. Maybe he encounters something else. You can like
Hmm.
bring in some like low tier. Like I do give them credit for like taking a low tier villain like Megawatt and building him up
Hmm.
to be more interesting. I'm like, that's
Oh
cool. That's great. That's a great idea. You guys should keep doing stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah, since we've had Nicolas Cage with both of Jake Johnson and Lamorne Morris is from New Girl. Oh, if they were to have in the future or the other actors from New Girl like Max Greenfield and Zoe Deschanel and Simone, I don't remember her last name,
No, no, no. I know.
but like who do you think would be good to have them play a
So I
Spider-Man
think
project?
that's a great question. You get Zoe Deschanel for Betty Brant. Have her at the news. Have her at the Daily Bugle doing some news stuff. You can have Max Greenfield as maybe if he was playing it dramatic and serious and he made him kind of terrifying. You could make him Craven in the noir universe, right? No one will see it
Okay.
coming. You make him Craven, but first you have him show up on the scene. You make him likable and undercover, doing some stuff, and then all of a sudden he's Craven. Or if you want to make him a likable good guy and charming, you can make Max Greenfield into John Jameson, right?
Uh-oh.
Like the famous astronaut. Well,
Hmm.
I mean, obviously the space program hasn't happened yet in the noir universe, but you could do something like that.
Hmm.
And for Simone, ooh, with Simone, you could make her into actress Mary Jane, right?
Okay.
Just have her just appear as an actress
Oh
type
yeah.
thing.
I think
Yeah.
like some and that would make for and that could add like a really fun angle for season two of like having having like maybe like as things are going on, there's also a movie that's filming in New York.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be
Oh,
fun.
oh yeah, yeah. You can
And
even
like
kind
there's
of.
and I feel like yeah, you can do a lot of unique stuff with the idea of a 1930s movie set.
Oh yeah, and so you can even pay tribute to like stuff like King Kong. Like you could have like
Mhm.
the Rhino or something be like a massive hulking figure,
Mm.
and you can reference King Kong in the 1930s New
Oh
York
yeah.
setting. You know what I mean? Like you can have him go up pop the Empire State Building or something. I don't like the budget for the show is really good. I don't know how much of a budget they'll like increase they'll get for
Mhm.
season two, but if they were to do something kind of insane like that, you could, you know.
Now, one casting where I would go something different actually from what you said is I would actually have Zoe Deschanel play a noir version of Spider-Gwen. I think that
That
would be really fun.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting. And oh yeah, that could definitely work. Or another great idea. If she's not Spider-Gwen, you can make her into Jessica Drew Spider-Woman.
Oh, because
Because
like I do really like the idea of having another spider character or appear in the show.
yeah, I think they can definitely do that. You do have to build up to that. Because in my personal opinion, I feel like in any Spider-Man storytelling, especially now with how the films went, we should have more Spidey team ups in live action sequel stuff. You know?
Mhm. Now, with Jessica Drew though, Spider Woman, um, uh, I may be wrong here, but Zoe Deschanel is white, isn't Jessica Drew not white in the comics?
Oh no, she's white.
Okay.
Jessica Drew is white. Yeah. There is when it comes to like Spider Woman of color, Silk is the first one. She's Asian. Yeah. And I also
Some reason
oh no, I'm
I
sorry.
got
Wait.
the vibe that Jessica Drew was
Okay.
Hispanic.
Oh no, there are two. Oh yeah, yeah. The only other there is a black Spider Woman who's in Across the Spider Verse. Yeah, but she originally Jessica Drew and her are separate, but in Across the Spider Verse she is Jessica Drew. So I got that
Oh,
mixed up. Yeah, but for the most part,
okay.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, but Jessica Drew, Sony kind of owns her with Marvel.
Mhm.
Because with Jessica Drew, her backstory is she's a Shield agent that gets hit with the spider experimentation thing. And the Spider Woman movie was supposed to happen a couple of years ago, and Marvel and Kevin Feige was going to help co-produce it. It was going to be directed by Olivia Wilde, and then some stuff went wrong. But in the Spider-Man woman plot, from what I know, they had two different versions of the script. One, she's a Shield agent in the MCU, and we see her POV in the MCU as Spider Woman. And one version where she's not a Shield agent, she's in a non-MCU universe, and she's just doing her thing. Now, I'm not gonna lie, if they make Spider Woman a reboot movie for a to fix to, for the not whatever plans they have outside the MCU, I can see her being a good co lead. However, if they make Spider Woman in the noir verse and have her go out or like even do a multiverse storyline, that could be interesting because I'm like it's obvious it's here. The multiverse is here. He's aware he's not in this type in type of a mainstream universe. I wouldn't be
Mhm.
surprised if we have someone swinging from another universe soon.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
I think there's a good chance that in and so like come the end of season two, we get like a cameo appearance at the end of of Haley Steinfeld coming in from the Spider Verse.
Oh yeah. I can see that definitely happening, and like it would be a shock. You know what I mean? Because like with Star Wars in the past couple of years, one thing they've been doing, um, if you voice a character in a cartoon, a Star Wars cartoon years ago,
Mhm.
you get to play in live action, which is something. It's kind of a similar route with this. Nicolas Cage
Mhm.
changing mediums. I can definitely see some of the other actors from the Spider Verse movies just showing up as
Yeah.
their version, right?
Hmm.
Like even like if Jake, if they build to a New Girls reunion
That would be,
with
be wild, and I would love that.
no, if you just
A superhero New Girls reunion. That would be awesome.
no, because like you think about it, like if Max Greenfield is
Yeah.
Craven and you have Lamar Morris as still as Robbie, and then you have Zoe around as someone, and then all of a sudden you have Jake
Yeah.
Johnson in color as his Peter showing up, and then you just have them in the same room,
You
and
know,
then
it, you know, it'd be really funny to see. So since we have this have both the black and white version and the in color version of the show. What if for like characters from other universes, they're supposed to be in color. So if you're watching the black and white version, they
Mhm.
will be in color. If you watch the color version of the show, the people from the other universes are in black and white.
That would be
That
funny.
would be
That would
hilarious.
be yeah. No, that would be
Oh
really
man.
cool. Like, no, I'm not gonna lie. It would not thinking about that would actually be kind of funny if they build to a superhero version of a New Girls reunion. You know?
Yeah, that would be hilarious. With Jessica Drew, oh, that is a role that like not only could Zoe do, but also that's one that I think Hannah could do.
Oh
Hannah
yeah.
Simone, she could also be a pretty great for that. Uh, you um, I don't know if like Marvel would like actually let Sony do this, but I would love to love if we were to get some characters from outside of the Spider-Man lore
You know,
also appearing in this universe.
I could definitely see that happening because it's obvious. I think Marvel, Sony, people involved, they're clearly happy with the show.
Mhm.
They're probably gonna be happy with the success. They're gonna look at the positive reviews. They're gonna look at the success and be like, "Gotta do another one." And Amazon's gonna ask them for something else. I can see them being like, "We should plant seeds
Mhm.
of other ideas." In the event Smash just get busy, or in the event we decide to do a Spider-Man Noir movie,
Mhm.
and we're like, what do we put on here for Amazon? Let's do something else. And I can see them definitely doing that
Oh yeah,
because
like some other characters from Marvel that I would personally I think would be really fun to see. I as like a bit of a reference to the '70s Hulk TV show, you could do a Hulk that is practical. I think that would fit really well into the
I can
show.
I can see that because also one thing they did that. I noticed is the makeup on Tombstone. I think it
Mhm.
looks better in black and white than in color. But I'm like, I did like the fact it was a practical effect. It wasn't CGI, so
Mhm.
I can see them doing a somewhat realistic Hulk. Like if
Mhm.
Marvel was kind of like, okay, Sony, pay us this amount of money, we'll let you borrow Bruce Banner
Yeah.
for a noir episode. Do what you want, and then you just get this guy decked out in green makeup
Oh
with
yeah.
some type of exaggerated like muscle makeup,
Yeah,
and then
like
you just
that
have to
would
go for him.
I could see something like that that fitting well into this universe. Another I could see you fitting well into this universe. This is one that I don't know if Marvel would be willing to give Sony, but like a noir version of Iron Man would be fun.
Oh yeah, you make it steampunky, like you put like you make it,
Steampunk and
yeah, with
a
cogs and wheels. Yeah.
1930s 30s rich person
Yeah.
would be fun to see.
Oh yeah.
Heck,
Oh.
that's one that's a role I think the Max Greenfield
Oh yeah.
could do.
You give him like the classic, Tony
Hmm.
Stark mustache from the comics, make him a
Oh yeah,
smoker,
I
and
think that he could fit a 1930s version of Tony Stark well, very well.
yeah, yeah,
And like maybe like you could have have for a brief scene. I mean, not like actually having him show up as this superhero, but having like a like Steve Rogers appear as before he becomes Captain America.
like just a skinny guy named Steve Rogers as a
Yeah,
soldier. World War II is about to start. Yeah, that could definitely work.
that could
I
be fun.
remember, I remember during the lead up to Across the Spider Verse in 2023, there was all these rumors and some stuff, and I think there was like some teasers of like, will non-Spider-Man characters appear in the Spider-Verse films. And I think Phil Lord and Chris Pratt said, "Oh yeah, we're open to it. We're happy to pay Marvel a fee to rent
Oh,
out a Steve Rogers for an
I'm
animated movie." Like I can see Beyond the Spider-Verse having some non-Spider-Man
I'm
cameos.
I'm really hoping that Beyond the Spider Verse has Spider Hulk
Yeah, that would be
because
cool.
that's because there's been multiple versions of Spider Hulk in the comics. Like and that would be signed. It would be really a really fun little cameo to have and I've been hoping for it ever since the first Spider Verse film. I'm like, this is now our last chance. Hopefully, this one.
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely see that happening. And yeah, well, the noir universe, I like how it feels fresh, kind of down to
Mhm.
earth, but still open. Like I can see
Oh
this
yeah,
getting bigger and bigger. I
heck, like a character who they would never name, and just like they never name him when he appears randomly in Marvel comics, but a character who would be perfect to appear for a random cameo is Clark Kent.
Oh yeah, or just guy with glasses, get
Yeah,
Tom
like
Welling or
they
something.
literally that's literally sign that Marvel Comics does all the time. They'll
Yeah,
have him appear. They just don't name him.
yeah, yeah. I can definitely see that. Hell, I can definitely with how big of a Superman fan Nicolas Cage is, I can definitely see
Oh yeah.
them trying to do a reference with like him encountering a Clark of some kind.
Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if we had like a scene where he's trying to go undercover, so he puts on a pair of glasses,
Yeah.
making himself look like he's Clark.
I also like the gags Ben got to do, what Nicolas Cage as Ben got to do in this. I could definitely see
Oh
them
yeah.
doing more stuff like that. And
Mhm.
also, it would be funny if they ever brought in Mary Jane and adapted her as an actress. You can actually
Yeah,
talk
that'd be good.
about, you can actually pay tribute to the first black and white comic book superhero series where like Ben goes into a theater, he sees something, he sees some of them playing, and he's like, huh, it's not me. Like they're not making it about me, they're making it about these other guys.
He'd be like, "Wow, Captain America. Who is
Yeah.
this guy?"
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that being a thing. Like, or just there's
Those I've never actually watched any of those old serials, but I've heard that they are very ridiculous.
it's one of those things where like again, like, okay, obviously we know what overacting is now.
Mhm.
At the time, they're like, "Well, I'm doing the thing. I'm playing an astronaut. I'm playing a super. I gotta be over the top. I gotta yell my lines. I gotta like it. There's it's sincere
Yeah.
heart, over dramatic
Yeah.
heart, and it's fun. But
in the Captain America serials, was apparently instead of being a soldier, he's a district attorney,
yeah,
and he uses a gun in it.
yeah, it's they were trying to get someone else, and then they got him. It's funny that happened all the time.
Yeah, no, so I think it was really funny that I saw on the Wikipedia page for it. One of the main MacGuffins in it is a weapon called simply the vibrator,
Yeah, yeah.
which is such a wild thing. You would never have a weapon in a superhero film called that these days because people
Well, yeah.
know the
Well, it wasn't.
connotation.
Well, the other type of viper wasn't really a thing yet.
Oh man, uh, I'm yeah, I'm very excited for wherever this show goes. I really do hope that they add more characters in, and there's a lot of actors I feel like would fit well into the noir thing that I would love to see. One that one particular actor I think would be really fun to see is Henry Winkler. I think he would
Oh
fit
yeah.
well into this universe.
Oh yeah. No, just to have him and Nicolas Cage joke around, that would be worth it. Hell,
Oh
hell,
yeah.
make Henry Winkler Jonah of the noir universe.
Oh,
That's what they
that'd be
should do.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not gonna be really funny since like they're the show very much does not not want to tell you how old Ben is. It would be funny if they were just to say the Henry Winkler is his father.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Oh,
Like even
oh
though
no, you
they're
can.
like close to the same age in real life, I think.
I don't know, but it would be kind of. I mean, now that you're kind of changing things up, Peter's father, Richard Parker, in the comics, in Agents of Shield, he was involved himself and he died. Usually, he's still a scientist no matter what, while being Agents of Shield. If you made Henry Winkler a Richard Parker who's still a scientist doing shady stuff,
Yeah.
and then just to have you can reference Indiana Jones 3 where like he sees him and it's like, Dad, what are you doing? It's like,
Oh yeah. Uh, you know, another character I think would be fun to appear. Even though I don't know if the comics ever had this character or in anything that was set before World War II. Nick Fury. I think
Oh, I
he
can
could be
see. I
fun.
can. No, if Marvel lets Sony use a version of Nick Fury, I could definitely see him just existing as a obviously not like maybe a World War One vet turned
Mhm.
government PI type thing, and then
Oh
you
yeah,
laid the seeds that Shield's going to be a thing.
yeah. One character who definitely like fits into the private detective active kind of space, but like I don't know whether fans will accept this character appearing, even though I think it would be really fun to see Howard the Duck.
I know. I had a
Like
thing to say. No, no.
I feel like he would fit. So, but I think the fans who want to keep this kind of grounded would complain.
Well, I'm sorry. Like you have a fucking electrical man and like a
Yeah.
Sandman. I'm like, no. If you have Howard the Duck, whether it be a mixture of
I
CGI or
feel like,
puppetry, you get a great
yeah.
you get Danny DeVito or someone to voice him, and you have him walking around. And of
Like,
course, you can just have you can. What's funny is you can have Ben Riley thinking he's just an experiment, and when Howard keeps saying I'm an alien, you have a running joke being Ben doesn't believe he's an alien.
it would be so hilarious. It's Nicolas Cage interacting with Howard the Duck, and that feels like something Nicolas Cage would enjoy doing.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's the thing about noir. It feels noir is the show is serious, campy,
Mhm.
over the top, fun, and stylistically like an expansive. Like I can see, I'm not joking. I can see them doing aliens. Well,
Yeah.
from Spider-Man books, or even from like if or
Oh
hell,
yeah.
it'd be really funny if Spider-Man Noir got Carnage, the Carnage symbiote, but he's in
That would
color
be
while everything else
cool.
is black and white.
Yeah.
Right? He's all
No,
red and stuff.
you want to have an over the top alien and come in. that is it's a reference to retro sci-fi films.
Mhm.
Have the Frogmen come in.
Oh, that'd be funny. That'd be funny.
That would be a fun on invasion to have. With Howard the Duck though, I wouldn't. To be honest, as someone who enjoyed the '80s film, I wouldn't mind if they brought back the voice actor who did it in the '80s film because I think he did a really good job, and
Well,
he's still alive.
his voice mannerisms would fit with the noir accent,
Yeah.
I think. And hell, even Leah Thompson, if she was in this as a
Oh
someone,
yeah, she would be
or hell, even like an
fit
ex
great. Oh.
girlfriend of Ben, I could see that being a thing. I feel like she and Nicolas Cage would have good chemistry.
Oh yeah, that could be fun, and like you could like have a moment where like Howard sees her, and it's like you remind me of someone I know.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
yeah. What
Oh
was?
no, no,
Oh, you say
I
something?
was just no, I was just thinking about what to say next. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna say that with Spider-Man Noir, um, I think it is great for binge watch parties. So like, if someone was interested in the show, you try to do 2 episodes at a time or whatever. I think you would have a lot of fun. And I actually like the fact that I mean, obviously it's black and white or color depending on which version you're watching. I am glad it's not trying to rip off anything from the movies live
Mhm.
action. Like even the web swinging feels different. The
I would
the fights feel a
I
little bit
would
different.
say though that out of all the movies, the ones that this actually like feels like it's inspired the most from is the Tobey Maguire ones.
Oh no, I agree. Oh, no, I completely agree. Because with Sam Raimi, he loved the 1960s Spider-Man Ditko books a lot, and that's the DNA of his trilogy. I think there are some tonal similarities because, like again, Sam Raimi really did treat it
Mhm.
like an old school 19s. Like the first Spider-Man movie by Sam Raimi is such a 1960s panel for panel type book. While this is 1930s Spider-Man Noir, black and white, and all this other stuff, if it feels similar to Sam Raimi, but it doesn't
Uh,
feel like it's taking shots from him. Do you know what I
oh
mean? Like
yeah,
taking
yeah. It feels
direct.
like it feels like more inspiration.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like I like when you see like him swinging around the out the city of all the different Spider-Man movies we got. That if definitely to me feels most like Toby's. He's swinging around the city. A deep I'm trying to think. There's something else I was going to say. Of how it felt like it like that, but yeah, I think it feels most like that, but it, like definitely yeah, not in a like taking shots at or ripping off, just like taking inspiration sort of way. Um, one thing story wise, I would like to see more of in season two is I want us to actually get to see a Daily Bugle. And I am Robbie working there.
Oh yeah, that has to be a thing.
Like that
Oh,
feels like it needs to be a bigger part.
also, Ben's assistant.
Mm.
I forget her name, but like she's really awesome. I really like
Yeah,
her a lot.
Janet.
Janet, I really, really am looking forward to see more of her next season. And I can see, I do want to see Ben have more relationship with the press. You do the Daily
Yeah.
Bugle, and you can actually maybe lead to him working alongside someone like Betty Brant, someone like
Mm.
like some stuff like that. I can see
With
them definitely doing that.
with Janet, and her character is one where I definitely think we should like dive into her more or in a season two. Like I feel like all the other characters in this they had their own storylines going on. She
Mm.
did not.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think so. I think she deserves some to have a bit more or and like I we've heard a bit about her home life. I so I want to get to explore that more or meet her family. I see more of like how their struggles because like as I said in the show, Ben wasn't paying her for a long
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And that's and that and she's keeping upbeat at work, but I imagine it's really hard for her.
Yeah, yeah. I could see her personal life coming into the plot of season two. Like maybe like someone from her past is missing or something, Ben offers to help, and that leads to him discovering a villain plot or something. I see that being a thing.
Yeah.
They should do something like that for season two. They should.
Yeah. And like, and I could see like this show doing time where like each season has like a different kind of detective story, or
Mhm.
like so this season we had have what starts off arts out into this investigation to try and bring down Silvermane is like a missing person. Maybe like next time we can have it be like a murder mystery.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they should do a murder mystery, proper murder mystery,
That would be
like
fun.
episode or arc. That would be really
And
great.
then like
I
maybe
do.
like as we talked about out like a mystery involving aliens in a future season. Like there's I think there's a lot of fun stuff that they can take inspiration from for some future seasons. They'll keep this show feeling unique for a while. I really hope that sooner rather than later we'll get a season two.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm deeply excited for what will come out
Mhm.
of this show, and I think the potential feels vast. And I actually like the fact they did change stuff from the comics, so people fans of the books can be a little bit surprised. And it's still if it's a miracle this is working so well because you have fans of him in the movie in Spider-Verse, you have fans of him in the book, and then you have other Spider-Man fans and other types of comic book superhero fans being like, "This is hit. This is working for me," and I really am excited to see what season two
Mhm.
can do.
So I think is funny. So we talked about how like my main criticism of this is it seems to forget a little bit of like this should be a connection in some things. And I think that's something I think is really interesting with that is that the creator of this show, Oren Uriel,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Uriel,
Mhm.
um, is the person who did the story for or another film that we also had a problem with some of the writing which is the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh no, no, Owen Urizzo, he was developing a Mortal Kombat reboot film since like 2011. He was working on it with Kevin Tancharon, and then seemingly he left. Then whatever ideas he had left, they kept some of that in. So I don't know how involved he was. However, I know exactly what you mean. I kind of wish he got to stay around for that. But I think the biggest problem is that Owen kept being like, maybe we should do a TV show of Mortal Kombat first, you guys, then do a movie. And then Warner was like, no, we're doing a movie. We're not doing a TV show because there was a TV show or a web series around that time
Mhm.
called Mortal Kombat Legacy.
Yeah, which
And there
apparently
were,
he did the script for one of those episodes.
yeah, the Raiden episode, I think, if I remember correctly, season one. And yeah, so there was a bit of a tonal thing. I know he's worked on some horror too. I think it was Paranormal Activity.
So
And but with Spider-Noir, I think obviously because it's 8 episodes, it's a superhero show. There's other things. He feels more fluid and he's having more fun and more control with everything.
I'm looking at his IMDb right now. So some different things he's done on so he's directed one film called Shimmer Lake, which is
Mm.
a like psychological thriller that with Rainn Wilson in it. That sounds actually sounds kind of interesting. He um worked on script revisions for both the Goosebumps movie in 2015 and the Borderlands movie in 2024. He's apparently the writer for the next Fast and Furious entry.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
also doing the writing for the Detective Pikachu sequel,
Mm,
a Clue movie. No,
mm.
he did the screenplay is for Lost City, a escape room tournament of champions, Cloverfield Field Paradox, a horror comedy called Freaks of Nature, or he did the screenplay for or 22 Jump Street. Um, then he also I don't know what this role actually means, but apparently he did something with additional literary material for 3 films, those being Minecraft movie, Sonic 3, and Strays.
Yeah, he's very much a big rewrite guy, and he's you can clearly
Oh.
tell by his fast work. He's such a like fan of different genres. Like he
Mhm.
clearly loves to take different directives. With Spider-Man Noir and the success the show's been having, I could definitely see Hollywood or some other studios being like, we should get this guy involved more.
Oh
And I'm
yeah,
like, just look
definitely.
at the stuff he's been involved already. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna get more work, I think, but maybe a
Mhm.
little bit more creative freedom. Because a lot of the jobs he did, he was very much following the nose of the studio. While Spider Noir, I felt like he found the freedom to express himself a bit
Mhm.
more and please Marvel, Sony, and the cast. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I think obviously with for some actors that I think could be fun and characters as well for season 2 um that I think would make for a really funny little connection is have some of of the recurring uh, actors from the Marvel Netflix shows show up as noir versions of their characters,
That
having the person who makes Matt's suit show up and reveal that in the noir universe she does the spider's suit, or like having I'm forgetting the name of the character, but there's this random guy I who appears in all the Netflix shows as this like petty criminal
Turk
that gets
Barrett.
beat up. Turk, yeah.
Yeah.
He I think like some small characters like that, but and having the same actors come back to play him in this noir universe would be really funny.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can definitely see that. Again, I think with season 2 and maybe in the future, maybe after whatever new deal Marvel Sony TV does for the
Mhm.
uh following season, I could definitely see them negotiate for like, okay, here's a non Spider-Man Marvel hero. You have 1 or 2 episodes with this actor, you pay us this thing, and then you but I could see them doing that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see like what happens with the future, not just with this show, but also with the character Spider-Noir in Beyond the Spider-Verse, or since he is supposed to come back in that. Though interestingly, I don't think it's actually been confirmed yet that Nicolas Cage is coming back to voice him in that.
He said recently, I'm supposed to record lines for the suit.
Okay.
They told me that, but he also did say, I'm waiting. But I was like, but I know it's supposed to be me. That's all he said.
Like because I remember like after Cross the Spider Verse there being like a bit of doubt of whether he's actually going to be returning or not as the voice, because like they had him had him show up at the end of Across the Spider Verse, but you didn't have him talk at all.
Yeah, I felt that was just a like, oh, we can have Nick record his stuff later.
Mhm.
I don't know about now type thing.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised with it, because like Sony usually does something like this at the end of things. Is they didn't have the have Spider Noir or have like some kind of like short post credit scene teasing using one of their upcoming Spider-Man things, even though it's not set in the same universe. Like I could have seen easily seen like a post-credit scene from Spider-Noir being the Beyond the Spider-Verse trailer.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. 'Cause I remember when Venom
Yeah.
came out in 2018, they had the a clip for Into the Spider-Verse
Mm-hmm.
just randomly playing the post credits. Um, I was kind of supposedly a Spider-Man brand new day trailer might be dropping tomorrow or sometime next week, which I think is still be true because
Yeah.
they've. I am kind of shocked they didn't attach it to the show, but
Yeah,
I
they
guess they
could
were
have
worried.
attached that to the show as well. I'm
Yeah.
like that it surprises me that we didn't have anything like that. That to be honest, I'm surprised in general that there was no kind of post credit scene. I think I could have easily seen this show just having a humorous post credit scene.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can definitely see that. It does feel like I think this is going to be a type of show where they approach it one season at a time because
Yeah.
it's very such like when the season finale happened, I'm like, oh, this is very close ended type thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can see a sequel happening, but you don't know. With season two and any season after, because we don't know how long the show could go on, I do wonder if they'll do more splitting of the story across seasons. You know?
Yeah, I could definitely see something like that happening. And um, I think it's about everything to talk about for this show. Is there any last things you'd like to talk about?
I think Spider-Man Noir is a very fun new standard in comic book superhero television. The acting, the production, the writing, the directing. I hope this inspires more creative superhero TV projects in a similar vein. And generally, if you love detective crime dramas but wish there was a more fantasy element to it or a science fiction element to it, watch this show.
Oh yeah,
It starts off as a proper detective noir show that morphs into a superhero show. Very early on, I think.
oh yeah. I think which reminds me like one particular thing I would like a little bit more of in season two is more time of him actually in the costume doing fights because like they did make that a little bit sparing in this first season.
Oh yeah, I felt. Oh yeah, I agree. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Dead season one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Of like, and
Yeah.
also it's a fun hero coming out of the retirement closet story, similar to Luke Cage season one or Black Lightning season one. Of like, okay, we get it. He's reluctant. There's a reason why he stopped.
Mm.
But let's have him confront this and let's see if he can handle being a superhero. And I think
But
it was.
Luke Cage is a character that I think would be fun to see in a future season of this.
Oh yeah.
Have a version of him for this universe. Uh,
Oh
all
yeah. I
right,
completely
well,
agree.
that's listen. And that's really everything to talk about. I'm winding this down. And thank you everyone for listening. If you like this scale analysis, please give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or a 5-star rating on Spotify. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Spider Noir. So please let me know. If you'd like to listen to more from me, please subscribe. Many more game analysis from me coming. Thanks, so keep on the lookout. This again is your host, Master John, signing off.